Ma'am, you don't belong up there. I'm trying to film a video. Oh, absolutely not. Mm-mm. No, I'm sorry. You're gonna have to get down from there. Hop down, come on. I'm busy. No. Okay, all right. Rotten to the core. What are you doing? I'm busy. She does not care. I'm busy. What are you doing? Okay, I'm gonna try to film. Okay. Every time I start filming, she hops up here on my space. Do I need to put you out of my room? You're not eating my brushes. No. No, we're not doing that right now, ma'am. No. No. Let's just start because she is extra. That's right, going out there. Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be my Shop My Stash for the month of June/July. I've gotten a little bit off course here just because I went to the beach and I pulled my last set of products during the middle of May. So now it's the middle of June. That's okay. You know, we just kind of do what we want over here. It's okay. It's going to work out. So let's go ahead and pull out the drawer. This is the set of makeup products that I pulled for this last Shop My Stash. The way I typically do this is we'll go over the products that I pulled. I'll let you know if I used them, if I didn't use them, if I'm going to declutter them. That's why this is called a Declutter and Shop My Stash, or Declutter while I shop my stash, whatever it is that it's titled. That's why, because we are decluttering as we're going through my stuff. I have a very large collection. If you're new here, this is an easier way for me to do a declutter rather than spending hours and hours and hours going through my entire collection. I just do it during my Shop My Stash, and it's been working out wonderfully. So let's get into this month's Shop My Stash and declutter. Actually, before we do that, let's pan over here. This row of products here were newer to me items, I believe last month or the month before, and they just kind of hung out in here. So those need to go back into my main collection. I had the Rare Beauty Soft Pinched Blush. I think this one was in the shade Love. Yes, very beautiful. I have the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Rose and Brunch Blush. Very beautiful cream blush. I have the MAC Extra Dimension Skin Finish in Double Gleam. I have the KVD ModCon Liquid Blush in Glasscade. That we're going to hold off on for a second. I have the... Is it Give Beauty? It's Gwen Stefani's brand. It's a really beautiful, bright red lipstick that I will probably never wear, but was suckered in, and I bought it. So, I'm going to take that out. And then all of these liquid blushes back here, I bought from She Glam. They were super inexpensive. They're actually really nice. They work well. They blend well. They wear well. And I've used them, so I'm pulling those out. So, this Soul Body Skinny Dippin' Shimmering Body Powder. I got it from ColourPop, obviously. It's a ColourPop brand. And on the website, it looked like it was going to be like a lighter pinky peachy shade. And it's not all that light. It's a little deep for my skin tone. I was hoping it was going to be just a little bit lighter. That way I could use it as a highlighter. And I just don't know if that's going to work. However, I did get it on a really good sale, so I'm not really that upset about it. I can use it as an eyeshadow. Maybe as a blush topper. I don't know. And it does smell nice. So, whoa. I am going to keep that in this little section because it's one of the newest products that I have. And I'd like to get some use out of it. Okay, now let's get into my main Shop My Stash items. First up, this MAC Radiant Light Rosy Skin Finish Bronzer. This is such a fantastic bronzer shade. It has a really nice radiance to it. It's got this pinky red undertone that's kind of hard to see in this lighting, but it does. And I love it. It is so nice. So I know I'm already going to get a lot of use out of it. I'm just going to put that back in my main collection. Also, let me just go ahead and address, I know my camera moves around a lot because I'm using the camera on my phone. Yes, I have tripods. Yes, I understand that it's probably making some people seasick, and I do apologize for that. However, I move around a lot in these videos, especially these, the Shop My Stash videos. So for me to have it on a tripod where I'm moving my camera every 5 minutes to show you a different angle, it takes forever. And I'll be honest with you, my time is super limited, so I'm lucky I even have time to film a video to begin with. So this is how we're going to do this video. In the future, when I do collection videos, I will put my camera or my phone on a tripod to make it less, you know, dizzying for you all. So I do apologize for those of you that this upsets or bothers, but this is how I have to do it so I can actually film a video right now. So that's what we're doing. Okay, moving along. The Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Sun-Kissed Glow Bronzer. I don't really know why it's called Sun-Kissed Glow. I cannot talk today. I get it if you're thinking like tan, okay, Sun-Kissed Glow, but it's not a glowy product. It's a matte bronzer, and I've said it a million times here, but this mug is so dry. It's a little hard to blend because of how dry it is. And I just wasn't expecting that with this product. I've had it for a while now. I did get some use out of it. It's just definitely not a favorite product because I have to blend the absolute shit out of it. And it's a little, you know, cumbersome. So I am going to pull that out of rotation. It's too expensive to get rid of it. I guess I probably could try to sell it, but I like working with things. Even if they're not my favorite, I like trying to get them to work because I'm a masochist. Next up, the Butter Bronzer from Physicians Formula. This product is old as hell. It is, well, I mean, you can see it's in poor condition because it dropped probably the second or third day that I had it. It fell and all of it was on my bedroom floor. So it got mushed back in with some alcohol and we got some good use out of it. I mean, well, my daughter did. My daughter loved the shit out of this bronzer. I like it too. It's not my favorite tone, but it works. Here it looks really neutral, but on my skin it is a little warm leaning, so I don't use it all that much. I did use it during this rotation, so that's going to come back out. This one is the one that I pulled out of my Declutter bin because I have issues. Somebody asked me, like, why declutter if I'm not going to actually declutter? Fair question, okay? I got to give it to you. I understand. And it's because I'm a pack rat. It's because I have issues and I'm weird about getting rid of things. So a lot of the stuff that I declutter gets given to my daughter, my nieces, friends, whatever. So a lot of times the stuff I declutter is actually leaving my house. It's gone. But some of the stuff is sitting in a bin just because sometimes I like to go through it and I like to see what I've gotten rid of. And is there anything in there that, I don't know, maybe I made a mistake and I shouldn't have decluttered, or to film future videos where I talk about old favorites or products that, you know, I no longer love anymore or whatever. There's always a reason in my mind not to throw something away. So that's my half-assed attempt at trying to explain to you why I keep things when I shouldn't. So this is the Tarteist Pro Glow, and this is not the way the palette was intended. Originally, I think there was a contour shade and like a bronzer shade at the bottom, like a cream and a powder. But I took highlighters out of other Tarteist Pro palettes and I shoved them all in here. So this is like a custom highlighter palette and I love these shades. They work so well with my skin tone. They're so beautiful. I'm a dumbass for decluttering it. I'm glad that it's back in my collection and I did get use out of it. So that's staying, but going in my collection. The Rare Beauty Bronzer. This one I think is in Happy Soul. Nope, Bright Side. I lied. I do like it. It's just not exactly my favorite tone. Come on, some bitch. So I didn't get like that much use out of it, but I did use it a couple times and it's going to go into my main collection. To show you like swatches here. Oh my. See, when I blend it out, it looks less neutral and a little bit more warm. It's just not my absolute favorite tone. But it's not going anywhere because, you know, these things cost money and I don't want to get rid of it and I just bought it. So we're going to get some use out of ya. Just not right now. No, I just can't with this cat. I can't get anything done. She loves me so much. Does she love her mommy? She's got to be right on top of me, loving on me. She gets fixed tomorrow and I feel so guilty. She's making me feel terrible about it. She's gonna hate me tomorrow. But she needs it, because Lord have mercy, when she's in heat, it's all I hear is her whining and crying and yowling, and it sounds horrible. And she's putting her ass on everybody and putting it in the faces of all my other boy cats. She's a little horn doggy, and it's not attractive. It's very irritating. So I think she'll be happier in the long run, but she's gonna have a rough morning. She's gonna have a rough day. I feel your pain. I do. We're like soul sisters. Because I just had one. Yeah. She's my sweet girl. Moving on to the main area here. So There's a handful of products that I still have not used yet, and I'm really debating on whether I just want to go ahead and declutter them or if I should keep them in rotation and force myself to use them. I just don't find much joy in doing that. Like, I don't want to have to force myself to use my makeup products. I have enough things that I actually love and enjoy. Why should I be forcing myself to use anything, right? I mean, that's kind of the logic with it. But then on the flip side, it's like, yeah, but I paid good money for these things and I need to use them. So I'm just kind of stuck. But let's move through and I'll think about it as we go on. The No Filter Primer from ColourPop. This is a product I did not use. I don't hate this. I just don't feel like it does a whole lot. So I am going to leave this one in rotation. I don't want to get rid of it. It is a little bit smoothing. I would say maybe like 10%. It's just not enough to where I'm wowed by it or where I feel like it does a whole lot. So I also pulled Tatcha's Silk Canvas Primer. It's a little mini that I got a long time ago. And then I had other little samples that I'd gotten, and I kind of combined them all into this little pot, and it's pretty full. There's quite a bit in here. It's not a favorite primer of mine. This used to be the product. If you know, you know. It was the primer for a solid year or two, maybe longer. And I just never really saw the hype with it. It's not that fantastic for oily skin. I don't think I used this during this rotation, so I'm going to keep it in. Oh, for God's sake, the I didn't use any of these primers. Well, that's a lie. We're getting there. The Peter Thomas Roth Instant Firm No Filter Primer. I didn't use this either. This is something that is supposed to tighten your skin. And you gotta be a little careful with it though, because if you put on a little too much, you can see the primer like cracking on your skin and it's not cute. Do I want to keep this in? I mean, I don't know, dude. This is such an expensive product. Part of me wants to go ahead and try to sell this because I think this was like 40 some dollars, which is insanity. I really would like to get some use out of this to see if I can make it work. So against my better judgment, I'm going to leave it in this rotation one more time. So 3 primers I'm going to leave in this rotation. I don't even know if I need to pull another one for this Shop My Stash, but we'll see. So last but not least, the Makeup Forever Step 1 Shine Control Primer. This mug is getting the boot, okay? I knew there was something about this that I didn't like when I pulled it during the Shop My Stash, and I thought it was because it burned my face the last time I used it. I think it did. I think my skin was more sensitive then, but I do remember it pilling, and I remembered it after it pilled this time. So I don't know if it just doesn't agree with my base product, like the skincare products I'm using, or if it's just that kind of primer, but I had a hell of a time getting all the little balls of product off my face. Like, it was gross. It's just a sample size, or like a travel size anyway, so I don't think I have all that much left in here, but I do not like this at all. It's gotta go, okay? That's getting decluttered. Okay, that was all the primers. Let's move forward into concealers. The Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. I remember when this was a super popular product, and more so back when full coverage heavy makeup was kind of the thing. It's not so much the thing now, but it's what I wear because I have a lot of skin imperfections, so I don't really do the whole like no makeup type of looks. They just don't work well for me. So this product still kind of fits into my agenda, you know? I wouldn't say this is a favorite concealer of mine anymore. I've just met newer and better things, you know? I do like it. I'm not going to declutter it, but I did get some use out of it, and it's going to come out of rotation. Oh boy. The CoverGirl True Blend Undercover Concealer. You know, this is one that I thought I used to love, but it is so heavy and drying. This is not a very good concealer at all. I used this and my under eyes looked absolutely horrific. And I even tried to minimize how much concealer I was using because I had a feeling that was going to happen. So I have had this a very long time. What is the shelf life? 24 months? I've probably had it longer than that, let's be honest. I mean, most of the stuff that I have is probably older than that. So it's just how I roll around here. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and declutter that. Don't judge me for using expired things, okay? You do you, boo. Don't judge me. This is the Winky Lux Peeper Perfect Concealer. I liked using this kind of as a mixer with another concealer. I used it with my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer because my NARS is really light, and this is more of like that beigey, just a little bit darker than the NARS. And it's got a little bit of luminance. Luminance? That's a word, right? Why can't I think straight? It's got a little bit of shine to it, and it's not super matte like some of the other concealers that I have. So I really like this to mix in, and that's what I did all month long. I actually liked it for that. So I'm gonna pull that out. Was that all for the concealers? Okay, yes. Moving on to the foundations. The Dior Face and Body Foundation. I did buy this a long time ago, and obviously it's not the right tone. Like, it's very yellow, okay? I'm more of like that pink-red undertone, and this is very yellow. So it doesn't work for me in that way. And when I mix it in with stuff, I feel like it breaks down the foundation I'm mixing it into. So then whatever I'm putting on my face just doesn't wear very long, and it's not my end goal, you know? I want my base makeup to wear a long time because I'm oily. So I'm really on the fence on what I want to do with this. I only used it a handful of times this last month. I mixed it in with my Estee Lauder. I mixed it in with the ones that you see here. I'm just not the biggest fan of this. My daughter really likes it, so I'm not going to throw it away. I just need to pull it out. I need to pull it out of rotation. I'm not going to force myself to use it if I don't want to. The Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation. This is almost gone, as you can see. Like, it's on its last leg. I did mix it into some other foundations this month because this is also not my tone. Very yellow. This is a very heavy foundation, and I don't know why I didn't really notice that before, or maybe I did and I just liked it. I didn't care. But this is a super heavy foundation, and I felt like I was wearing a mask when I used this as a mixer. So I don't know, maybe it's because it's old. I mean, I have had it for a while. I'm going to pull it out. I should probably just finish it off. I mean, there's like 1 or 2 pumps left, but I just want to pull it out of there. Next up, the Pure 4-in-1 Love Your Selfie Foundation. This is a very heavy full coverage foundation. It can be used as a concealer. It's also not the right tone. I don't think I'm ever going to find the right tone for me, foundation-wise. I'm just this weird shade of like, I don't know. What do you want to call that? I'm not sure. But it's hard to find something that matches me. So that's the main reason I don't use a lot of the foundations I have, is because they're not the right tone. So I end up mixing them in with other things. I don't hate this. I do like the fact that it's more of like a natural finish. It's not super matte. It's not super dewy. It's like somewhere in the middle. It's just too dark for me. So do I want to keep it in? You know what? Let's keep that one in. I don't feel like I used it a whole lot. The NARS Radiant Longwear. Beautiful foundation. Wears nicely on my skin. Has really nice coverage. Is radiant. It's not matte. I just like it. I like it a lot. I've used this as a mixer so many times. This is my second bottle of this one, which is saying a lot when you have a whole fucking carousel full of foundations. So that tells you I like it. I can go ahead and take it out of rotation. Also, if you don't like the swearing, you're on the wrong channel, babe. I had a comment on one of my last videos that said, do I kiss my kids with this filthy mouth or something like that? First of all, my kids are older. They've heard worse at school and with their friends, okay? Secondly, I can say whatever the fuck I want. It's my channel. If you don't like it, please feel free to click off. The Chantecaille Future Skin Foundation. This is a very lightweight, gel-like foundation. Not my style. Not really sure what I was doing picking this up. Yeah, I have not used it still. And I told myself that I was going to, regardless. Like, I'm going to use this foundation, but I don't want to have to force myself to. This is something I would have to wear on a very light makeup day, and I don't have very many of those. I need to stop buying products like this. Products like a BB cream, like a gel foundation, lightweight stuff. I just don't wear it. I don't know why I continue to buy it. It's because I'm me. I have problems. So what do I want to do with this? Do I want to force myself to use this, or do I want to go ahead and just pull it out of rotation? Do I want to declutter it? The struggle is real with the Chantecaille. I don't know what to do. I put some on the back of my hand just to see like what it looked like, and I don't see anything. I don't see any coverage like at all. I don't know. God, it's way too expensive to be throwing it away, like decluttering it, so I'm not going to do that. but it's going to come out of rotation. I just don't have the urge to use it, and I don't want to force myself to, so that's that. The Hourglass foundation stick. I told myself I was going to put it in this rotation, and if I didn't use it or I didn't like it, I was going to finally declutter it once and for all. I still have not used this, and I haven't used it in a really long time. It's probably expired. I'm being stubborn because it is expensive. And before I started filming this video, I thought, you know what? For the products I didn't use, I should just film a video using those because it's obvious something that I'm not thrilled about using, and maybe I just need to do like a chopping block sort of video and just film with it. So let me know down below if that's something you guys would be interested in watching. I can certainly do that. There's a lot of video ideas I have. That's one of them. So I think I'm going to put this aside for that very reason. If I don't end up filming that video, then this one's just going to take a hike because it hasn't been used in forever. And yeah. Okay, so that's all the foundations. That's what we're keeping in. I can put this back in here. Keeping in those primers. The Milani Cheek Kiss Liquid Blush in Rose Romance. Beautiful blush. It's got some luminance to it. A lot of pigment. I just kind of swirled it around there on my hand so you could see it. It's beautiful. It's not super opaque, which is nice, especially if you're not wearing a lot of makeup, like full coverage. But it does have a lot of pigment to it, and it's really pretty, and I like it. So, and I did get use out of it. Next up, the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in Moonstone. I've always really enjoyed this highlighter. I've gotten a lot of use out of it over the years. You wouldn't be able to tell. I mean, it looks like I'm barely scraping the surface here, but it's fantastic. It just gives this lit from within type of glow. It's not super like glittery or shimmery. Well, I don't want to say it's not shimmery. It's not glittery. So it's really nice if you're doing like more of a toned down type of look, and I definitely got some use out of it. So we're pulling that out. Y'all, I have fallen in love with this iconic London product. It is their Kissed by the Sun Multi-Use Cheek Glow in So Cheeky. And I think it's supposed to be used as like a bronzer slash blush, like a blonzer. You know what I'm talking about. It's really beautiful. I use it to top off the cheeks after I've done bronzer and blush. I just love it. It's so pretty. There's another one that I want. It's like a mauvey purpley tone. Oh, it's so pretty. I'm going to have it sooner or later, but right now I have this one and I love it. But I'm going to pull it out because I definitely used it. The Rare Beauty Positive Light Highlighter in the shade Enlighten. I wanted one of the other ones, but I wasn't sure what would go well with my skin tone. This is like that stark white, almost like a silvery highlight. It's pretty, and when it's on the cheeks, it just looks kind of wet. So I like it, but I don't know. I kind of wanted the pink one, and I thought maybe it was going to be too deep for my skin tone. But I did get some use out of it, so I'm pulling that out. The Patrick Ta blush in She's So LA. I also have to say, by the way, I like the sleek packaging, like with the metallic look to it. But god dang, does it get dirty. Like, look at that. Look at the iconic line. Like, it's filthy. Just absolutely filthy. Anyhow, this is a product that I purchased off of Mercari. I really wanted it. I almost bought it during the Sephora sale, but then I saw it on Mercari, and it was a lot cheaper than what I would have paid if I had gotten it at Sephora. So I bought it on Mercari, and it was brand new. I really like this because it can kind of be utilized as a bronzer or a blush. It's very beautiful. I like to use the cream. I don't know if I've used the powder product yet. Have I? I don't think I have. But you can kind of tell why it would work as both. It's just not exactly what I would use as a blush. But I have used that as a blush. And it's beautiful. It's got this sheen to it. It's a little surprising when you have it on the cheeks. It doesn't exactly look like a bronzer, but it does in the pan, right? Anyhow, I really like it. I did use it, pulling it out. Look at this. Look at the freaking fingerprints. It's disgusting. The Bobbi Brown highlighter in Pink Glow. Definitely got use out of that as well. Really, I don't know why they call it Pink Glow, because it's really not that pink. Like, you know, I would say it's more of a champagne shade myself, but it's beautiful and I used it. Man, this Pat McGrath Labs highlighter, I got this at TJ Maxx, which was a treat in itself because I paid a fraction of the price for it. And I was really hesitant when I looked at it in the store because I thought it was going to be too deep, and it's not. It is so pretty. On the fingers, it just doesn't do justice. Like on the cheeks, that's where it's at. Beautiful. So pulling that out because I got use out of it. I purchased 2 of the e.l.f. putty products recently. I have a putty bronzer. I think this one's in Tan Lines. And then I also have the putty blush, and this one's in Turks and Caicos. I think that's how you say it. I'm not sure. They're both nice. They're a little bit dry. It's that putty formula, so it's not moisturizing. It's not exactly glowy. They're a little bit drying. That's my only, the only downfall to these. But I do like them, and I definitely got use out of both of those, so. Pulling those out. The Charlotte Tilbury blush, her Cheek to Chic blush in Sex on Fire, also known as the Booby Blush. I really like this. It's a very neutrally kind of blush. Kind of almost looks like it's not going to be deep enough to be seen on the cheeks, but it is. It's really beautiful, but you definitely have to mix the two. Pulling that out. The Peach Perfect setting powder from Too Faced. This used to be a favorite product of mine. I raved about this, and I used it a lot. I'm pretty sure this is my 2nd or 3rd container of this powder. I mean, you get a lot of powder, so the fact that I've gone through that much when I have a collection the size of mine, again, is saying something. But I didn't love it as much this time around, and I don't know if that's just because I've found products I love more. So, I have a bigger basis of comparison, or that's got to be it, because I used to love this. So I definitely got some more use out of it, but I am going to pull it out of my rotation. My Huda Beauty setting powder it's just fantastic. And everything that I get, or everything that I have, I compare to that one powder, and nothing adds up because it's perfect. Not sponsored. Next up is the Moon Prism Blush Palette from Lunar Beauty. I really do like this. My only gripe about this palette is that 3 out of 6 of these blushes are very peach leaning. And I like a peachy blush, but they're not my absolute favorite. I like pink blushes and red blushes, and I would say peach blushes falls 3rd in line. So I do really like this palette. It's not my favorite blush palette, but I do like it, and I did get some use out of it. Got a lot of use out of it, actually. You'll have to remember, I do my makeup every single day for work, every day. And I work 5 days a week. So we're talking at least 20 to 25 makeup looks in a month, at least. So I've gotten a lot of use out of a lot of these products. And then, there's the handful of things that I did not, like the Glam Light icing. I only did my eyeshadow once or twice, again, which is a damn shame, especially with how many eyeshadow palettes I have. I'm going to have to come up with a system to start using my palettes a little more. Otherwise, what an absolute waste. So the icing reminds me of P. Louise base because it's like a tacky eyeshadow base. I went ahead and spread it out there so you can see what I mean. Almost reminds me of a concealer. Or like P. Louise, like I said. So this is really good for bright, bold, colorful looks where you need something tacky for the eyeshadow to stick to. That's what I would use this for. And I didn't do any looks like that, so I didn't use it. So I really want to keep this in. I mean, I'm going to have to do a look like that sooner or later. I've got a lot of pretty palettes I need to play with, and I need to start being more creative with my eye look. So I'm going to leave that in rotation. Back in this corner, I have 3 products that I didn't use. I've got the Merit Mascara. This one is in Perfect Black. It's their lengthening mascara. It just wasn't a favorite mascara of mine, so I didn't ever reach for it. Is it terrible? No, I can make it work. It's just not my favorite. Do I need to keep it? Do I need to keep it? I'm pretty sure this is something I left in rotation from the last time, isn't it? I'm almost positive it is. You know what? This just needs to go. I need to stop. It's not going to get used. I don't know why I keep doing that to myself. This is the Believe Beauty mascara, their extended lash lengthening mascara. I picked it up at the dollar store, well, Dollar General, last month sometime, and that's why I threw it in this rotation. And I just really don't care for it. It's a super wet formula. It weighed my lashes down. I did not like it. I'm actually going to go ahead and declutter that. Last but not least, of the drawer. Anyway, I have some other things to show you. This is the freckle pen, or the freckle, whatchamacallit. So it's this little tiny brush, and you dab it on your face to get faux freckles. And I'm just not the type of person that's going to be wearing faux freckles, like on the regular. So I don't know why I bought this product. Yeah, I do. I bought it when faux freckles were like the thing. Excuse me. Well, hello. Yeah, I know. You got to be right up in my business. Ow! I feel nails. I'm trying to film. What are you doing? Did you need some lovin's? Yeah? Hi. Honey. My snuggle baby. She my snuggler. Okay, anyway. I'm just not going to use a freckle product unless I'm doing a very specific kind of look. So I don't necessarily want to get rid of it, because if I decide to do that look, I want to have a product to do it with. No, she being so sweet. Get comfortable. Get comfy. Hi, honey. Hi, honey. So I'm going to hang on to it just for the sheer fact that if I decide to do a makeup look that, you know, faux freckles would look good with, I want to have a product that I can use for that. But it's not something I need to pull in my Shop My Stash, because how often am I going to do that? Not often. So that's coming out of rotation, and that's the end of what was in that drawer. So over here you can see the products that I am decluttering. I've got the CoverGirl. I've got a mess is what I've got. I've got the CoverGirl Concealer. I have the Makeup Forever Step 1 Shine Control Primer. I've got the Believe Beauty Mascara, the Merit Mascara, and then the Hourglass Foundation. Again, I'm not going to declutter this yet. I'm going to force myself to use it, probably in a video. Last but not least, we have my stack of palettes. So let's go over those quickly, and then we can get into this month's Shop My Stash. So I'm going to make this real short and sweet for you. I only did my eyeshadow like once or twice this whole last month, so many of these did not get used. The Serenity palette, which is a collaboration between Menagerie and Annette's Makeup Corner, didn't use it. It's beautiful. The Indigo Ink palette, another palette from Menagerie. I was feeling inspired because I was going to the beach, and you know, it's got that beachiness to it, the octopus on the front. Did I use it? Nope. The Chucky palette, Crazy in Love. I mean, that's cool. Did I use it? Nope. The next palette is the Juvia's Place, the Nubian Earth. And we actually used this one. I say we because I used this one for an eye look that I did on my daughter when we were at the beach. We went out to dinner to a seafood restaurant, and she wanted to go full glam, half-cut crease, like the whole shebang. And she doesn't like colorful eyeshadows, so I didn't get a chance to use any of the colorful palettes. She wanted to use the neutral one. So I think I used this brown down here, probably that one up there in the corner. I used another neutral out of a different palette, and then that was that. And she wouldn't let me put any shimmers, and y'all know me, I'm a hoe for shimmers. I love me some shimmer shadows. So when we got back from dinner, I begged her to let me put some shimmer on top of those lids, and she agreed. So I finally got to use this really beautiful sparkly shade. Oh, but I had a lot of fun using it and pressuring her into letting me use it. So yeah, that's that. The Don't Be Jelly palette from Unearthly, I have not had a chance to use. Some really pretty shadows in here, really beautiful multi-chromes. I mean, I need to just use it. So I'm going to pull these out of rotation just because I don't know when I'm going to have time to do elaborate eye looks when I'm not filming. So I'm thinking about doing some palette bingos, if I haven't already said that. Would you all be interested in watching me do some? I feel like that's a really creative way to use some newer palettes when I'm not feeling very inspired. Let me know down below if you would watch a palette bingo from me with any of the newer palettes that I haven't used yet. I think I might do it anyway. Last but not least, going through this last month's Shop My Stash are the beautiful sparkly indie singles that I pulled. So I would love to say that I got some use out of these, but I did not, and it makes my heart hurt because they're so freaking pretty. I've swatched them a million times, just never got to put them on the lids. So there's no sense in me keeping them in this Shop My Stash when I don't know if I'm going to get a chance to use them, you know? So I'm going to pull them out. I don't know if I'm going to keep pulling those every month because realistically I don't use them enough. Do you all want me to keep pulling the indie singles? Is it fun just for you to watch me pull them? I don't know. Let me know down below. So now that we have the drawer cleared, this is what we have left in here. Let's pull for the months of June/July. Starting off over here with the primers, I don't know if I'm actually going to pull any just because I still have 3 in there from last month's Shop My Stash. But part of me wants to be a rebel and pull one anyway. I think I'm going to pull this one from First Aid Beauty. It's not a favorite of mine. It feels pretty full still. I really don't know why I keep hanging on to it because it's just not one of the ones that I'll reach for. It is mildly mattifying, like mildly, and it smells like watermelon, which is bizarre. It kind of reminds me of the Skin Love Brighten and Blur from Becca. I've definitely used this one more, I think. I don't know. I'm going to pull it, but that's the only one that I'm going to pull since I already have 3 from last month. So let's get out of there. Moving down to my concealers and odds and ends. This Physicians Formula Butter Glow Concealer is one that I picked up this last month and I haven't used it yet. I've swatched it on the back of my hand and it's very light, very thin, not exactly hydrating, so I'm a little concerned about it, but I definitely need to use it, so let's do that. I always struggle when it comes to concealers just because I have so many. A lot of these are kind of old. Like this one. Look at the discoloration in there. The Boing Cakeless from Benefit. I'm going to pull that just purely so I can use it a couple times, and then I probably need to get rid of that before it poisons me or something. I just have a lot. I'm a pack rat, man. I'm afraid to get rid of things. It's not healthy. This Pat McGrath Labs concealer, kind of the same situation. You can see the discoloration in that too. I've just had it a really long time. Just realized it has a 6-month shelf life on it. And Lord knows I've had it a lot longer than that. So let's give that another try as well. And if I don't like it, I can declutter that while I'm at it. One more. I mean, that's 3, but one of them's brand new. Let's do one more. Or should I just leave it alone? Let's just leave it alone. Is there anything out of this side that I would like to try? I got this in an Allure. Was it Allure? No, I lied. I ordered something from Ipsy, and this came with it. Do I want to try this? It's, for first and foremost, you can tell how light it is. Way too light. I'd have to mix it in with a deeper foundation. Let's pull it just because. Maybe I can mix it in with something and we'll see how it works. I think I want to pull the Foundsealer from Tarte. This is such a beautiful foundation. It's very dewy looking. It does remain a little bit tacky, but it looks so fresh and it just looks beautiful on the skin. I don't ever wear it just because I'm oily, you know, so it doesn't wear very long, but I like the way it looks, so we're going to pull it anyway. I have a lot of products in here that are like BB creams, skin tints. I mean, I don't really wear stuff like that very often. Some of them I got through like Influencer, like the Shiseido one I got through Influencer. That was a bad example because the rest I bought. Anyhow, let's get out of this drawer. I mean, the Merit Foundation / concealer stick. You know what? Let me pull this one as well. It's definitely not the right tone. It's very yellow, but I might be able to use this as a concealer. Maybe. Down to the next drawer. Setting powders. What have I not used in a while? What do I want to get use out of? The $1 million question. I'm going to pull this powder from Gigi Gorgeous. I think I got this in an Ipsy a long time ago. It's just the Turnt touch-up powder. It's just a translucent powder. I don't know why I said it like that, all judgy. I think I'm going to use this to set the under eyes with, and if it looks horrific, I'm just going to declutter it. I don't think I've ever used it. I need an all-over face setting powder. I pulled like powder foundations before, and I just don't use them, so you'd think I'd declutter them by now, but no. I'd rather hold on to it and smell it every once in a while because it smells like chocolate. The Chantecaille Blur Powder. What is this called? Perfect Blur Finishing Powder. So many YouTubers hyped up this powder, and it's not terrible, but I also don't think it's worth $80 some, you know? It cracked before it ever made it to me, as you can see. It's very yellowy. Man, that hurts. That hurts. I paid that kind of money for that. The Dior powder's less than that. Okay, let's pull it and force myself to use it. Wow, I need to clean this up. This is tragic. Sorry you guys have to see all that. I need one more powder. I need like an actual setting powder. I used to love the Fenty Beauty powder, but then I got hooked on the Huda Beauty powder. And whew, it's like no returning from that. It's so good. You know what? Let's pull it. It's been a while since I've used it. I've still got a lot in there, so let's pull it. And I think that's good enough for that drawer. Contours and bronzers, oh my. Well, I don't typically pull a lot of the bronzer palettes, so maybe I should pull one of those this time. God, there's just so much. This drawer really needs decluttered, like badly. It's hard to do with one hand, so I had to adjust some stuff. The Scott Barnes contour palette, if you all have been here with me for a while, then you already know that Carve was that bitch, as you can see. I used it so much that I've got major pan. This contour palette, man, I used it a lot. And I haven't used it in quite a while. Every now and again, I'll pull this out and I'll throw a Carve on the cheekbone. But I just don't get any sort of use out of it like I used to. So let's go ahead and pull that one. Kind of excited to dip back into it. I'm going to film an updated blush collection video. Would you guys like to see an updated bronzer collection video? Because it is out of control. Like, there's stuff back there. It's all the way to the back of the drawer. I can't fit hardly anything else in here. I need to stop buying shit. Tell me to stop buying shit. Help me. I also used to use the Vanity Makeup Sculpt and Glow palette. This is, first of all, I wish they would come out with more makeup, because both this and their signature eyeshadow palette are absolute bangers. They are fantastic makeup products, but I haven't used this in quite a while. I mean, you can tell I really used to get in there with the contour. It's really the only shade out of this palette that I used, so I don't know if I can really say I'd recommend it if you're only using 1 out of 3 shades, but I need to get some use. I'm just not going to use a shade like this, you know, not when I can use like concealer or something, but I really do need to use this shade again, and maybe even venture into the highlight. Oh, that felt kind of greasy. Ooh. Oh. I wasn't expecting that for whatever reason. I need to get some more use out of it though, so let's pull that. And just keep in mind, these aren't the only products that I use throughout the month. I'll still dip in my drawers if I get bored or if I want to use something else, just because it's my, it's my prerogative and I'll do what I want to do. Keeps things fun and fresh. So during the last Shop My Stash, I pulled the MAC Radiant Skin Finish, the new bronzer. This is the matte version, because I bought both, because I'm extra. So I want to pull this, because I haven't gotten any real use out of that yet. I just like the other one better, so I've been like leaning towards that one, but let's pull it. I need to get some use out of it. I'm going to pull one more. I'd like to know what's hiding in this corner back here. Good Lord. Haven't seen you in a while, Bare Minerals. I mean, jeez Louise. Another Bare Minerals. Back here in purgatory, like what's going on? Kylie, didn't even know you were still back there. Ooh, this is interesting. This one is in Tequila Tan, and this used to be a favorite bronzer of mine, believe it or not. I used to think it was very pink leaning, but as I'm looking at it right now, it surely does not look pink. If anything, it looks like it's leaning a little orange. Whoa. How did I think that was pink leaning? We need to give her a try, though. I think it's been a very long time since I've used it. Let's pull that. And I think we're going to be done with the bronzers for now. Comment down below if y'all want another bronzer collection video, because it's time. It's time. Actually, I think I'm also going to pull this one. I used to love this one. I was turned on to this one by Taylor Wynn. I want to pull this because it's been such a long time since I've used this bronzer because it was hiding back there with Kylie, you know, totally forgotten about. That's going to be the end of the bronzers for this Shop My Stash. Let's move it along down to the blushes. Oh, my favorite and most least favorite drawer right now because of how ridiculously jam-packed this is. I think the next video I film is going to be my blush collection video. I have so many videos that I have like on the docket to film. That's one of them. My Tara Moons collection, my favorite indie singles. I'm going to do a palette bingo. What do I want to pull? Goodness gracious. There's got to be some back there lingering that I haven't used in a long time. This is just absolute insanity. I'm going to have to pull some of these out so I can see what's going on. So I purchased the Melt Cream Blush Lights, the entire collection, back before they came out with the 2 new shades, and now I want the other 2. But anyhow, I purchased these on a super deep discount. They were very inexpensive, and I haven't gotten use out of like a handful of them just because they're not tones that I would typically wear. So I went ahead and swatched those tones on my arm. The first one is Sandy Cheeks, and that's that really beautiful like terracotta shade on the left there. Beautiful, it's just not a shade that I wear a lot, so I'm going to force myself to use it. It's that one there. And this one here, which is Cali Dream, and that's the middle pinky shade. It's like pinky peachy. And then the last one is Golden Hour, and it's got like a luminance to it. Luminescence? It's luminous. So yeah, I'm going to pull all 3 of those, and I'm going to force myself to use them. So I decided that I really need to see all the blushes to be able to pick out some singles. This is staggering. It's overwhelming. But it allows me to really see what's going on in here. And what's going on in here is a goddamn problem. I have problems. Let's pick out a few single blushes, shall we? This is the row. No, it's not. This is the row that was hiding in the back that I never get to see. It's got a couple of the Milani Luminoso blushes. Essence, Kylie, some of the Milani Rose blushes. The Moira blushes. Those are so pretty, but these are just for looks. Let's be honest. I'm not really using these on the cheeks. It's just because the imprints were pretty. That's why I bought them. Don't judge me. They weren't that expensive. They're so pretty. Like, look at them. I think I have used this one, but the other one's just way too bright for me. But pretty. Ooh, remember this? Do you remember when this Burt's Bees blush, this one is in Bare Peach. Do you remember when Kathleen Lights used to talk about these blushes? And they were so freaking popular. I couldn't use the other one that she used, which was what? Something cinnamon. But I do have Bare Peach, and I haven't used this in a really long time. It's really not like my favorite tone of blush anymore. I don't really like the really orangey blushes. But man, I wore the shit out of that back in the day. Let's pull it. I want to use it again. Oh man, it's so nostalgic. Do I have 3 of those? I do. Why did I think I only had 2? Oh, okay. Okay. That's pretty. Ooh, let's pull it. Let's try that one out. Okay, so I have the 2 cream blushes, and then I just pulled 2 powder. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, 3 cream blushes, 2 powder blushes. Should I pull more? I kind of want to pull 1 or 2 more. There's so many I haven't used in so long just because of how many I have. I skip over this one all the time because of how bright red this is. Like, this is red. It's more like pinky red, honestly, but it is bright. It's in the shade New Rules, but I skip over it because the component's broken, and I don't think I do it consciously. I just skip over it. I want to pull that, and I want to force myself to use it. I can't remember if I pulled it recently, but we're pulling it. All right, I do need a neutral blush because I have bright colors, and then I've got Bare Peach. So I need something neutral that I haven't used in a while. Who's the lucky winner? These are so pretty, but I've used them quite a bit here recently because they're newer. Oh, do you remember the Buxom Wanderlust blushes? So pretty. Aw, poor warm soul. Looks a little bit ate up. Love the Glow Play blushes. What in the hell happened to this one? That one looks like it's unsanitary. I've decided on the Ofra Chiclet Blush Duo. This is their collaboration with Samantha March. It's a really beautiful blush, and I like that you can use it separately. Like, you can use just the shimmery side, just the matte side. That's what it looks like blended together, and it's just a really beautiful, neutrally, like, mauve-y blush. So let's pull that. It's been a while since I've used it. Now I have to put all this stuff away. We've got a pretty full drawer so far, but we've gone through all of the main complexion products except for highlighters. So let's do that. God, this is another drawer. Like, all of them, actually. Every single drawer is, like, out of control right now because I have zero self-control when it comes to wanting pretty things. It's kind of where we're at right now. I want to force myself, I hate that sentence, to use this Halo Glow Beauty Light Wand in Champagne Campaign. It is really pretty. It's what you see shining right there on my hand. So let's get some use out of it, shall we? I'm trying to remember, like, what I've used recently. I don't want to use anything that I've used recently. I would like to get some use out of some of these fun iridescent highlighters as well, but I just don't know when I'm going to do that kind of makeup, you know? I also want to pull Ray Rider, which is from Kaleidos. I've had it for a long time, and I haven't used it in a long time, but it's this really pretty champagne-y highlighter that you see gleaming right there. Like, so beautiful. Let's pull that. So I was thinking, I remember saying in a previous Shop My Stash how I wanted to get more use out of this single highlighter. This is just some random singles. All of these are Makeup Geek, and then we got a whole hodgepodge of stuff here. But this one here is from Beauty Bar Baby, and it is such a beautiful pinky golden highlighter. Like, are you kidding me? I need to pull that, and I need to get some use out of it. I always forget about my complexion products that are like singles, because they just sit in these little empty palettes and they just get forgotten about. Can we just admire, like, the artwork on the bottom of these pans? Like, what? That is beautiful. These are very, very glittery, though. Very glittery. Well, you can see it. Not exactly something I would wear on an everyday basis. Beautiful, but very glittery. Ma'am, I'm trying to film a video, and you're being disruptive. I'm going to have to ask you to keep it down. Ma'am. Zero fucks given. For now, we are going to stick with this one from Beauty Bar Baby. I cannot wait to use this. It's called Pretty in Pink. I don't even know if you can still get it. Probably not. I gotta use it, you know? What's the point in having stuff like that if it's never going to get used? I want to pull 2 more highlighters since I only have 2 pulled right now. Well, I have 3, but one of them is a cream, the Halo Glow from e.l.f. I want to pull this one. You can see I've been swatching a bunch of different highlighters all over my hand. I want to pull this one from Laura Mercier. It's just a really beautiful, more of like a toned down type of highlighter because it just gives the skin a sheen. You know, it's really beautiful though. So I'm going to pull that. All right, I've decided I'm going to pull this little mini from Becca. It is their Champagne Pop highlighter. It is in a million little pieces because it broke literally the day it arrived, and I've had it for a long time, but it's such a beautiful highlighter, and I want to pull it. So now we got a little bit of a variety with the highlighters here. I need to find something to put this in, though. I have this little magnetic empty palette from Makeup Geek, so I'm going to put that in there, and any other singles I pull can also go in there. What's left? My lord, this is the longest video in the history of ever, and I'm so sorry. Let's get out of there first and foremost. The next drawer is going to be face palettes. I struggle with this one every time I get to this drawer. You know, last time I was going to pull this and I ended up pulling... What did I pull instead? That's right. I pulled the Tarte one instead, so I'm going to pull this one this time. It's just an iconic highlighter palette. All of those tones will suit my skin tone, and they're beautiful. So we're going to pull that. It's on the bottom. Yeah, I'm not happy with her right now, so she's going to stay the hell back there. Did you all see Marlena's podcast with, I think it was the Sesh? Oh my goodness. Not that I'm surprised. I'm not going to give it away if you all want to go watch it, but she talks about all the drama and all the actual things that happened with the failed launch with her and Jaclyn Hill. Basically what ended her company. You need to go watch it. It's insane. I already don't watch Jaclyn Hill, but if I did, that would have been the nail in the coffin. Like, wow. Well, hello. Hi. I see you guys ripped my robe off my bed. Thank you. The Natasha Denona Bloom Blush and Glow. I bought this several years ago. I was so excited when I purchased it. I filmed a video with it and some other products, but I just remember being so stoked that I owned this, and I've used it a handful of times, which is just ridiculous. So I want to get some use out of the cream products specifically, because those are the ones that I don't know if I've ever used that. Like, that's beautiful. And the blush is a little bit deep, well, obviously. So I'm going to have to be very careful with it, but I'm pretty sure I can make it work. So I really want to get some use out of that. That's going to be it from this drawer. The next drawer is the sample drawer that I usually skip over. Do I want to pull anything from here? I usually, by this point in the video, I'm overwhelmed because it's been a long video and I'm tired of filming and I just want to be done. So I skip over this drawer, and this drawer just keeps growing and nothing is getting used. And I'm about to do it again. So I dug around in here for a little while just to see if there's anything that interested me. I am going to pull the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. This is the original foundation, not the new matte version. And I haven't tried this one since I first started getting like really heavy into makeup. And that was like 5 or 6 years ago. So I want to give this a try just to see what I think about it now. Back then, I feel like it broke me out pretty bad. I don't fully remember. I'm a little scared. But I want to pull it and just give it another shot. I also want to pull out the, what is this called? The Blendiful. Isn't that what it's called? I can't remember. This little puff sponge. I want to pull that out because that really does a good job sometimes setting your powder products. And I haven't used it in a long time. So I think that's all I want to pull out of here. Let's just back away. My daughter's always in this drawer too because she borrows my mascaras all the time, which is fine. It's just a mess. I want to pull this one. This is the second mascara that I bought from Dollar General from Believe Beauty. This is their High Drama Fiber Mascara. That's scary. But I'm going to pull it because I want to see how it works. I feel like this Benefit Roller Lash is probably dried up. This used to be a favorite of mine. Yeah, it's pretty dry. I'm going to pull it, see if there's anything left in there or what the formula's like, and if it's just not what I remember, I'm going to throw it away. I probably should just throw it away. I think that's all I'm going to pull for mascaras. That's what we have so far. The only things I need to pull now are single shadows if I'm going to do that, and eyeshadow palettes. So let's do that. So when it comes to eyeshadow palettes, I have so many of them, and it's becoming difficult to choose which ones I want to use. I'm thinking about doing something where I enter all of them into, I used to have like a spinny wheel that I could spin and it would randomly pick palettes for me or other makeup products. I really liked that because it just took all the hassle out of it. But I also semi-like the option to choose. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with that yet, but for today, this was last month, so I'm not going to keep that since I used it. I need to pull those back out. I do want to keep in the Don't Be Jelly because I haven't used it yet. I want to keep in the Chucky palette. These two I have used in the past, so I'm going to put those back in rotation even though I didn't use them for this last month. I know, I'm a loser. I recently picked up these two new palettes from Odin's Eye. This is the Jewels and Gem palette, and like, it's beautiful. And this is the Stone and Rock palette. And again, beautiful, gorgeous, love it. So I'm going to throw both of those into rotation. And I'm thinking that these are the palettes I'm going to do my palette bingo with. I'm just like, I need some inspiration. I need to try to start doing some stuff a little differently because my creativity well is empty right now. She's bone dry. So I need something to kind of inspire me and make me want to play. So that's 4 palettes, and I think that's more than enough. But I don't have any like neutral palettes that I can wear on an everyday basis. I mean, that's kind of a lie. These are both a little bit neutral. Let me find something that's easy and wearable for work because that's what I'll gravitate towards, you know, when I'm working. First and foremost, I picked up the Seahorse palette from Adept Cosmetics, and I took it to the beach with me, but it never got used. And I need to use this mug because it's pricey, and I need to get some use out of it. My thoughts are so far that I'm just not thrilled with it. So I want to make sure that those are my final thoughts by using it. So that's what I need to do. I need to use that palette. That's 5 already. I mean, do I really need to pick more? I just don't even know, dude. What's back there? ColourPop. Oh, jeez Louise. I don't know what to do. I love indie palettes so much. They're just so much fun and so unique. I mean, look at that. Holy cow. So much fun. So first and foremost, don't mind this little area because it's not clean. There's just random stuff shoved over here. But this is where I house all of my Natasha Denona midi palettes and the Metropolis palette. I recently had all of these deconstructed and put into a magnetic palette. Like I had all of the single shadows removed. And it took me a solid, goodness gracious, hour to put them all back in these palettes because they were just all mingled together in an empty palette. So now they're all nice and pretty and, you know, back in the palette that they came in. And I kind of want to use one of these. Actually, I'm going to pull this one because this is also new and I want to get some more use out of it. It is such a beautiful palette. I did create a video doing 3 looks with this palette. I'll link that above if you want to go check it out. It's really pretty and I'm a sucker for green grungy eyeshadows, so let's pull that. And now I want to pull something that's a little bit more like brown neutral because that's got a lot of grunginess to it and greens. The Zendo's not my favorite. Retro Glam. Such a beautiful palette. I really like this one. But I'm thinking even more neutral. This is one of my favorites. Actually, they're all kind of my favorite. Oh, very warm. The Glam palette's definitely a fave. She's squeaky. Very neutral, easy to use. Maybe I'll pull that one. Ooh, I've definitely not gotten enough use out of my Dream palette. So let's pull it. Let's pull that one. This is just such a beautiful palette, and I've not gotten enough use out of it just because I buy eyeshadow palettes like they're going out of style, because they are. What are you all doing? What are we doing? Gosh. Really? Hey! Goodness gracious. This is such a beautiful palette. I just want to get some more use out of it. So I pulled way too many palettes. I mean, if I thought that using 5 palettes in a month was ridiculous and undoable, I don't know why I pulled 7. Why did I pull 7? But I did. There they are. Do I want to pull singles? You know what? I don't, because I'm not going to use them. And this has been a long enough video, so I won't bore you all with pulling my singles. So as I was sitting here looking at my palettes, I remembered, and after saying that I wasn't going to pull any single sparkly special eyeshadows, I did buy some Super Shock shadows from ColourPop over the last couple weeks. Why? I'm not sure, because they're not my favorite formula. They dry out too quickly, but they had... Well, I guess I do know why. They had a fantastic sale on a set of them, and I think it came with like 12. Was it 12? It was a good bit, and it was very inexpensive, so I bought the set, and maybe 1 or 2 more. So, let's pull some of those to go along with my palettes here. That's fun. These are a little bit more, well, not a little bit, they're a lot more wearable than like my single shadows, my special shades. Okay, I went ahead and laid them out like this. That way I can pick coordinating shadows to go with these. Obviously, the Seahorse palette, I'm going to shut that because that's nothing but shimmers. So I don't need shimmers to go with my shimmers. Oh boy. Okay, is there anything that can go with the Chucky palette? I'm really struggling with which ones to choose, so I'm just gonna pick a couple. So I pulled this one, which is Mountain Lion, and it's an iridescent, and it's got a little bit of purple. I figure I can use it as an inner corner highlight if I use that palette or that palette. So I'm pulling that. And I also pulled Ladybird. This is such a beautiful metallic, glittery, sheer, pinky, just beautiful shade. So I'm pulling that. You guys want to see them, don't you? So there's those two. Mountain Lion's on the right, Ladybird is on the left. I feel like I can use those with a variety of these palettes. I do need something to go along with this and this. Something a little grungier. I do have a green one I was eyeballing. Like, this is beautiful. This one's called Green Juice. And when you swatch it out, it's not quite as like wow as when you see it in the little pot. You're like, oh man, that's such a beautiful like chartreusey green. And it's still pretty, but it's just nothing. It's just nothing that I wouldn't find in like one of my palettes. You know what I mean? So I kind of want to pick one more. I don't know why. Why do I do this to myself? Like, this is completely unnecessary. No, you know what? That's it. I'm going to stop right there. I don't need a million Super Shock shadows to go along with my eyeshadow palettes that I'm probably not going to use. Ma'am, I can't have you doing... Seriously? Every time. You got to come down from there. You got to come down. So that is going to wrap up this Shop My Stash / declutter / review of my last month's Shop My Stash and Declutter. It was a doozy, so if you stuck it out through the entire video, you're a real one, and I appreciate that. So thank you all so much for watching. All right, so that is the pile of products that I've pulled for this Shop My Stash. I've got lots to play with. I'm excited to have a different set of products to use. I was getting a little bored with the other ones. You know, a month is a good time frame for me. After about 3 weeks or so, 4 weeks, I'm getting pretty bored with the stuff that I pulled. So this is what I'm working with for the month of, well, the rest of June, moving into July. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope that this was entertaining and I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like this video if you liked it. Leave me some feedback down below. Let me know what else you'd like to see from me here on my channel. If you have any other video ideas, I'm all ears. I'm always down to try different things and, you know, I want to create content you all want to watch. So let me know down below. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. That is going to do it. Thank you all so much for watching and I'll catch you all in the next video. Bye.